Yo, shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. Yo, just doing this live spirit a moment. Yeah, it's gonna be talking about Sabbath day's journey, Israel's issue with judgment, and I hope y'all can hear me because sometimes my audio will be very low, so I got you know my air going on. So if you probably probably really can't hear me. I'm trying to speak as loud as I can, but I gotta get me another mic, probably too. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about yeah Israel's issue with judging. Our people don't like to be judged. Have an issue with that word judging. Um, Also, yeah, Monique came out. Actress Monique, who was known for like I guess exposing Netflix and other companies in Hollywood and people in Hollywood how they treated her. I guess sabotaged her. Just came out as liking women. I guess you could say it's bisexual, right? Um, so yeah, her and her husband in an open relationship for a while. So, but that's kind of part of it. But kudos and it's good too for that. So I'm getting to that and just etc. etc. A lot of people passing away at Jamie Foxx. A lot of stars falling from heaven. Just a lot of people in general, man, are going to be going to different dimensions. So it's going to be a lot that I could cover in this live, which my battery is kind of like halfway full, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay. All right, starting now. Shabbat shalom, y'all, man. Whew. Okay. So our people in Israel have an issue when it comes to judging, right? A lot of our people, and you might have family members, others who have an issue when you use terms like judging or they hate for people to be judged. And ones of them profess to be stewards of the word or disciples of the word, the Bible. Um, and they might have issues with people saying, or just judging, right? Or believe that Christ was anti-judging, was against judging, right? When really, if you are a man or woman of Yah and Christ, you should be judging a righteous judgment, not always according to appearance of things, but through the Spirit. As Yeshua said, take the beam out your own eye first and then judge. All right, just take the beam out your own eye. So he was speaking about the hypocrisy, not that ones couldn't judge. There's many verses where Yeshua told his disciples on how to judge certain matters. Paul went into that. Peter, we go down the line. Even in the New Testament, it reads, Paul said, shouldn't the saints judge the world? So if the world should be judged by you, why can't you judge these smaller things instead of going into the Gentiles for church or Israelite matters to those Gentiles who are pagan, who don't prescribe to the ways of the Most High? We can't judge these issues within the church. And Yeshua told his disciples, you should have 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so etc. 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 He that spiritual is judged by no man. He that spiritual judge of all things, but he himself is judged with no man. Right? So yeah. So you're supposed to judge. Like test every spirit. Judging, test, whatever. And once why people think judging just means condemnation. Condemnation. You had the rapper Project Pat who just, I think he might be still in my city now. Just came to my city. I think they had like a car show, a bike week, whatever. And I said to a Project Pat would have came here back in like early 2000s or 90s. It just, this city would have, you wouldn't have been able to go nowhere. Like the amount of love that it would have been in this in this city. But he changed his life. Going to the Word, Bible. Say so. It's saying right, and we have a lot of that too. A lot of celebrities, getting closer to Yah, We can speculate whether it's because to really do right or to really do to mislead again, etc., etc. Right? But I remember him saying a video that kind of went viral. Him saying that he felt like God wasn't condemning him, but he felt like he wasn't going to make it to heaven. And everybody who familiar with the word, well, if you're not making it to heaven or to the kingdom of heaven, then that's condemnation. You're condemned. Right, right. So our people just sometimes hate the. So I guess think about the God of the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob condemning. All right, and then some, or I guess a lot more, even hate judging altogether. They feel like the only person that can judge is God. But we still have judges on this earth. We still have people that you can go to say, hey, we need you to sort out these matters. And they're going to judge it. It could be your neighborhood D-boy. It could be your neighborhood, OG, etc., etc. It could be your auntie, your grandmother. It could be whoever to say, hey, as when this person did this and this person did that, we must do this in the sense of some kind of consequence, repercussions, some kind of justice, basically, right? They call it street justice, whatever you want to call it. That is a part of judging. Grandma and them, hey, whoop whoop whoop. That's a part of judging. Um, Not allowing certain people to do this or to do that within the family, within your group or whatever. That's judging. Um, we do it every day. We say, hey, man, that's a cool shirt you got on. Hey, that's some good hair. That's judging. But see, that's hey, you free to go. I don't see nothing you did wrong. That's judging. You have judging that means acquittal, acquit of any charges, acquittal. You could be acquitted, set free, or you could be condemned. Okay, hard labor. Okay, got to pay the penalty for what we, what it seemed like you did. Right, the evidence shows that you've done it, so now you got to pay for it. Right. Um. So yeah, but that's just a thing too. When it comes to certain celebrities and people that want to draw nigh to the Most High, but they felt like at no point that they should be judged for anything that they have done. You have to be careful about that because then you get this thing where the God just will accept anything, any type of sacrifice, any type of word, any type of whatever. And we know the ways of the Most High is what? It's set apart. Holy means set apart. So within that, there's going to be some kind of condemnation. There's going to be some kind of uh, narrow way to walk. There's going to be some kind of strict type of thing that you must do. Just like in the military, etc., etc. Even if you play football, whatever, there's some type of regimen, discipline, basically, that ones should have and must have in order to reach that goal, or else it is completely chaotic. We're not getting anywhere. So there must be some type of structure, and with that structure comes discipline. There must be some discipline. There must be some sleepless nights. Must be some pain. All right. So ones have to understand this. They say no pain, no gain. Uh, Sometimes people just criticizing someone about what they have done or what they're doing. People might not want to hear that. I mean, who wants to hear that we've done something wrong? None of us, right? Or that we're doing something wrong, that we might have said something wrong. We want everything we say and we do to be perfect, but they say, well, practice makes perfection. So in order to uh, get to perfection, you have to admit that, you know what, I've done this wrong. Uh, Now I have to make it right. What can I do to mitigate this issue, to solve this issue that I'm having? It could be with playing basketball. It could be with speaking, talking, whatever it is, okay? It could be with making money or managing money. What can I do to solve this issue? All right? So, yeah, so judging is not, always bad. I mean, if people can enter it. It's funny how people have an issue with judging, but they don't mind going amongst a bunch of judges to win a competition, to win some money. They go on American Idol. They don't mind going on all these shows to be judged in order to make money. But when it comes to your soul salvation, they don't want nobody to judge them. They don't want nobody to sit them down and say, oh, "Hey, you're doing this wrong," or "You got to correct this thing," or this is the best way to solve this, or this is why this issue is happening to you because you went against God's will. It's just like people make it hard, but it's so simple. It's just like if a robber comes in and say, "Hey, let it down, put it down, drop it." They say you have a 27% rate of being harmed by armed robber while complying. So basically, it's real small chance that you will get hurt while complying. Now you still can get hurt, but it's so small. But the Most High, if you do what the Most High said to do, you don't have to worry about no percentage. It is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. You're going to get there. If you do what the Most High told you to do, you don't have to worry about condemnation. You good. So people will comply with robbers. You have people who say, "Well, I'm not going to fight back. I'm just going to comply with robbers because I don't want to get shot." But when it comes to the kingdom of heaven, and you don't want to, you don't want nobody to judge you or the Most High to say no. All you have to do is just do His will. But see, that's narrow. That's a straight gate. That's a narrow path. It's hard. Ways of a transgressor is hard. The ways of a transgressor is hard, as the Bible says, the word says, right? So it's hard for ones to get to that point or to get on that path. All you have to do is submit to the will of the Most High Yah. And there you go. That's it. All Jonah had to do was do what the Most High said to do. Have to worry about being in the belly of the whale, 3 days and 3 nights. You should. All you got to do, all you have to do, is whatever the Most High had told you to do. What we see within His Word, and we get understanding based on His Word. We go into the Greek, we go into the Hebrew, but first and foremost, we go through the Spirit. We say, "Hey, to the Spirit of the Most High, I believe the Most High was really saying this, or wasn't really saying that," because it doesn't contradict Himself. So we do diligent research within the Word, God through the Holy Spirit, to get a better understanding on thus says Yah, on what He was telling His prophets and what He was telling servants, etc., on what to do and what not to do, and where we also were headed, where we're at in these days and times, and where we're also headed in the future. Okay, which is present, future, but that's a whole nother the past and all that, right? So that's all we have to do is just follow the will of the Most High. That's it. That's it. And you don't have to worry about condemnation. We have more so about acquittal. And but people have an issue with that, with judging. When I see ones get closer to Yah, have an issue with being judged or judging, having people sitting around and judging you. And you got to I don't know what Bible ones read, but if they go through the King James Version and you go from the Old to the New Testament, you're going to see judging. You got the book of Judges. You hear about judging a lot on how to judge and how not to judge these matters. If a brother has trespassed against you and he did not want to acknowledge his wrongdoing, Yeshua gave instructions on where to take him to judge this matter. Like, y'all don't want to go into that. It's just like the Yeshua that everybody is familiar with, that was healing people and raising the dead. But don't go to the Yeshua, as the world called Jesus Christ, and go to Yeshua that got that whip or got that stick and start beating people out the temple. Okay? So trying to make my father's house into a den of thieves, The fed up Yeshua. Okay? The Yeshua that's told disciples, "Hey, arm yourselves, get 2 swords, sell your cloak, and get a sword." And they came back with 2. They don't want to talk about that Yeshua. And we have to be full circle, because as people within this world, we tend, I think, usually are multi-layered. We have good sides to us, and we have not so good sides. We have good days, we have not so good days, right? So I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand why, when it comes to Yeshua, why people, just only want a one dimension, or just only want one type of Yeshua. Okay, we have a time when Yeshua was a baby, when Yeshua became a man. So there's times where Yeshua was crying. There's times where Yeshua HaMashiach was not crying. Okay, there were times where Yeshua was just sleeping. Like, hey, y'all waking me up by that Gentile. Yeah, because Yeshua is too much. If we make Yeshua be more, I don't want to use the term human, but in divine, will be more divine. You see what I'm saying? Because the first man was basically the image and likeness of God. So we share a divineness as well, especially those of Israel, right? We share a likeness of divine. Say what? Israel mean what? Who he shall what rulers God, or a prince of the power. So we go to the bathroom, do we not? We wake up, we yawn, do we not? But we are what? God's children, are we not? At the same time. So that's why Yeshua said, if you have done it to the least of my brethren, you have also done it unto me. Great works I have done, and greater works you should also do. Because, so when you look at yourself, seeing the divinity, the Yeshua within me, the Yeshua within you, as those who've been in church and all the songs, in me, Jesus in you, right? Yeshua within I and I. It's easy to love. It's easy to love Yah's word. It's easy to accept, thus said the Most High, even when it comes to things to the bitterness of judging, right? Things that we, according to how we was raised or how we was not raised when it comes to His word, that we might have an issue with when it comes to judging, or etc., or doing this or doing that. I mean, people have an issue sometimes with even keeping the Shabbat, keeping the Sabbath. But the more you going into your divineness, right? Your knowledge of self, the easier to keep the Most High words it shall be. It will be. Okay? Is that? But you have to see the Yeshua within you. You have to know Yeshua for yourself from the inside out. People looking for Yeshua from the outside in. And when he said, when they said, hey, go look over here, he gonna be over there. Go, they're gonna say, hey, don't believe him. They're gonna say, oh, he's over here, he's in the mountains. No, within you, that Christ conscious, that Christ within, when you get that knowledge of self and you get that enlightenment, not just being woke, because woke is good, but being enlightened is better. When you reach that enlightenment, then it's easy to understand why Yeshua said this and Yeshua said that, and can still be the Son of God, because to our understanding, Yeshua had beat some people out. And Yeshua said, hey, put them before me, slay them before me, those who not obey me, that I should rule over them. Hey, bring before me, and slay them. Hold on, what he said? How could he be the Lamb? How could he be the Prince of Peace? So we don't want to deal with that Yeshua. We only want to deal with you know this because how could you be basically how can water be looked at as something that gives life, right? Something that we look at as so positive, but also has drowned people. We drink it, do we not? But we drink something that has liquid in it. Some people, I don't drink that. I don't drink water. I drink some beer. I drink soda, whatever. Either way, it has water in it. Okay, it's water based. Put it like that. All right. Okay. So it has liquid in it. So with that being said, it can drown you, can kill you. but it also can heal you. And was it not made by the Most High? It's not water of the Most High. Because I don't think the devil made water on this earth. I think it was the Most High, right? So, with that being said, this is like when we speak of trans people, intersex. We don't hear about amphibians in Genesis, right? We hear about all the other animals. We don't hear about amphibians, but frogs are mentioned within the Bible. There's amphibian creatures that are mentioned, but we don't hear about them in Genesis. But they are of Yah's creations. We just don't, read about them. So intersex, trans people are mentioned in Genesis if you read deeper. And most Bible scholars would tell you that Adam was androgynous. This is why men and women both have the same sex hormones, just at different levels. Let me take that back. Men and women both have the same hormones, just at different levels. Okay? Ask your doctor. Okay? Ask people that work at the hospital. Okay, all right, okay. For those who don't, it's at different levels. Yes, at different levels. This is why you have organs that are different but similar to each other, sexual organs. But anyway, the split feminine side, masculine side, both come together, they are one flesh. Because in the beginning, they were embodied as one. They all existed into one. The oneness. So an androgynous person, or ones who say hermaphrodite, is a true hermaphrodite, because that's even more rare. It's the embodiment of that, a representative embodiment of that. So you get a better understanding. Okay. The oneness, right? The oneness. Angels, oneness. Don't. Okay, so speaking of that, we have Monique had came out recently as bisexual, I believe, which kudos, and ones would say, well, hey, that's her business, right? Yeah, but I feel like it's a good thing for her to come out, because the people who was in big support of DeSantis and these other governors who passed anti-trans bills, uh, who was like, yeah, we don't need LGBT within Black studies anyway, because it's LGBT is not Black history. Whoo. Anyway, so but ones was supportive of um of Sister Monique, because she was talking about how the industry was, how Hollywood was, right, and how they are. So they feel like they looked at her, I guess, in the same way as one with people a Cat Williams or somebody, right, who just talk about these elites and groups and how they basically blackball you, right, if you don't go do what they say. So they was, yeah, that's right, yeah, fight the power, yeah, they the sister, they fighting, yeah, they don't like nobody who's Black and who's raw and who's intelligent and boo boo woo, right? So, but now that she's come, because that's a part of Black history. Monique made history in so many ways, right? So is she not part of Black history because she's bisexual, because she came out as bisexual? Is Monique part of Black history? Is she still represent that spearhead against these major uh uh production companies and labels and Netflix? Is she still somewhat of I don't say revolutionary, or someone that you could piggyback off of, or someone that you could say, I guess, speak for the people, or speaking out against the powers that be, or that's exposing a lot of the things that go on in the industry? Uh, is she still the same Monique, or because of who she lay down with or is attracted to. Now there's no black power. She doesn't represent black power. She doesn't represent Israelite power because of she's bisexual. And that's a whole other video. I can go into that about Nigeria, why a lot of our women probably like to marry women or be with women, because that's a custom in Nigeria that goes on to this day. And it's funny that Nigeria passed those laws against LGBT, and primarily, when it comes to trans or trans-ish type of laws. But that's been a custom for women to marry other women. Yeah, look it up, look it up. I'm subscribed to the channel that just had a documentary on it. Okay, so yeah, that's a custom for to maintain property rights, all that in Nigeria for a woman to marry another woman, and these customs still go on to this day in Africa. All right. So for once, and this is probably the reason why a lot of our women, like Monique and others who have that energy, like that boss kind of energy, are bisexual because, like I say, it's in the DNA. And for those who know about the Igbo blood and everything, so when you show people like, why don't the Bible, when it say a man with man, and we got the deeper understanding of when it say a man should not lay with mankind and do womankind, and Leviticus, what that was really speaking on, and it wasn't speaking on at homosexuality, because dealing with paganism and pagan sexual rights and stuff, and the sacrifice to Moloch unto the children, practices that went on because you had big orgies, men with men, women with women, men with other women. I mean, men with women, women with men, all of that going on, right? But that was one of the things that was spoken of, but it wasn't dealing with homosexuality. And one of the main things we point out, because on Sodom and Gomorrah, when Ezekiel, I think it was Isaiah 50. Goes in, I think, no, Ezekiel, I think 49 goes into the judgments of Sodom, if I have it right. Goes into the judgment of Sodom. And so when you say, okay, why isn't homosexuality mentioned there? But staying on that, homosexuality, if it was saying a man should not live with mankind as it does with womankind, if that was speaking on homosexuality, then why isn't the woman even there? Why don't we have the woman mentioned there? And could it be that in those days that if a woman could not find, because for a woman to carry her father's inheritance, right, she had to marry within her father's house. All right, we see this in I think it's in Numbers 25, if I have it right. We see this where Moses, the two daughters, who father didn't have any male sons. How do we do, what do we do about the inheritance? Our father did not have any sons, and they sought out, went to the Most High. Okay, this is what should happen. So basically, they married within their father's house, so they had to marry their cousins, their male cousins. So, but what if there was no male cousins, there was no male other in the family? Would they might have to marry a woman, a young woman, in order to take their inheritance? So would they have to be in the position of wife husband? That could have been something that happened down the line, that we might not have the proper text. That text might come up. Who knows, man? See, there's so much stuff that's coming out now that one's tried to hide that can't be hidden anymore, right? About sexuality amongst the nations, amongst Israel, the nation Israel, and the spectrum that actually did or did not exist. All right. So yeah, that's something to ponder on, to think about. Okay, could that have also been options at some point? Because we do not see, if a woman lays with a woman as she does with a man, what should happen to her? You had, like I said, you had an idiot. No, excuse me. You had some dude who said, well, obviously, if it's talking about the man, it's talking about the woman. So if it said a man shouldn't live with another man, it's talking about the woman. I said, dude, so if the Bible speaks on men having more than one wife, that means a woman can have more than one husband? I said, well, show me the scripture where a woman was stoned to death for laying with another woman's husband. Because we or about to be stoned to death. Because we see many verses on, okay, men and women about to be, a man and a woman about to be stoned to death for laying together because she had laid with a man that was not her husband. So when the Most High said about the beard, right, men having the beard, I guess that was speaking, women too. I guess, right? I guess so. Maybe. You know, I mean, like I said, because women can have, but I'm just saying it's more of a thing that the context is more, you know, geared to men. So yeah, just things uh, they come up with. They come up with. So yeah, so that's just something interesting. And then going into a lot of celebrities, a lot of people passing away. I try to tell people during this time we're going into Age of Aquarius, the age, and also with the planet, the Biru getting closer to Earth, you're going to find a lot of people departing. Okay, going from here, going to other dimensions, in and out. Certain ones coming into because people mentioned recently that hey man, it's like this whole week been a crazy reality, right? You had a Dalai Lama. Those see the video, Dalai Lama. Uh, having telling a young boy to tongue kiss him. I don't know, to suck his tongue. All kinds of stuff going on, man. It's a lot of things been going on in the news, and people just like, man, this week been crazy from the flooding we had down here in Florida, but down in Miami, flash flooding. Then they had another, I think, flash flood somewhere out there, somewhere else. Then they had a thing of wildfire in New Jersey. Basically, all the stuff simultaneously. They had a wildfire, I think, in Indiana. Okay, you have a lot of stuff. You still got all derailment that happened. I was in Ohio, I think maybe 2 or 3 days ago. So that thing was like 40,000 pounds, yeah, 40,000 pounds of soil, contaminated soil. They was transported out of Ohio, right? Out of Palestine, right? Palestine, which they just stole the name from us. They trying to be like us, right? Uh, excuse me. That the truck basically, I think, had hit a pole or something, and it, most of that soil is now back into the damn soil. Like, yeah, divine judgment. And we in a year two of skull and bones year for those who know. So just look at death and resurrection. Okay, so death and resurrection year. So when you see a lot of good things and new things happening in the earth right now, also there's some things that got to be destroyed as well. So the one thing that can't be destroyed is the soul, right? It's the soul. And the X marked the spot, X marks the spot year. We're getting into 2024, April 8th, 2024. When the last eclipse happened, a lot of people passed away in 2017. I think it was August of 2017. So now we're going to April 8th, all right, 2024. Then they have a map, I think, of 2025 of what America or what the world will look like, okay? And it looks very different. Certain civilizations even starting to come back. Ancient old civilizations like Atlantis and all those Lemuria are seen on this map. So, and like I said, Japan has 7,000, I think, new islands that just popped out of nowhere. So Mandela effect, MEs, whatever. We know that we're in a different timeline now. The Book of Enoch goes into, I think, the Book of Enoch, I think, chapter 80 goes into like the changes in the earth, the subtle changes that should happen in the stars and in the earth and all that. And Yeshua spoke on it too in Matthew. I think it's the 24 and all that, the signs of the coming of the Son of Man. What we're gonna see in the earth. So I tell trans people, we have with Bud Light their campaign. Think it's either by GNC or trans person individual. They're getting backlash about that. But people saying that the money that they're quote unquote losing the Bud Light is also causing people to invest within it as well. So what I just said before, like no matter what people do who want to stay true to the old, who want to stay true to the old paradigm of it's just it's only just two genders or there's just this or this is that's going away because Bud Light it's not just Bud Light. It's going to be everyone. It's going to be the average everyday person is going to say, hey, this is a trans person. This is a trans woman. They're going to be the face of what we're doing. So the trans women who feel like, oh, the only way I can make money is to sell your body, those days are coming to an end. And of course, we're gonna go through some critical times. We up ahead now, but I'm saying, those days are coming to an end. So once we feel like that's just all you're good for, no, you're going to be the face of 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 whatever it is. That's just what it's going to be. Uh, when one's talk about like Thailand, you see Thai women or trans women is about every aspect of Thai society, right? From stewardess, flight attendants, airplanes, etc., etc., etc. Right? We'd be here down the line. So, is it perfect in Thailand? No, but you could kind of maybe say it's a trans utopia, but in every aspect. So, it's going to be kind of hard to go around America and go around the world without trans people being the face of whatever it is, okay, or being involved in that to some degree at some point, because every 2,160 years there is the beginning and ending of a new cycle. There is an ending and beginning of a new cycle. Um, there was a time when Christianity, as we know it, didn't exist. Then it came into existence, and it was a big hoopla. There were times where certain empires came in, and certain things that people recognize as true and good, or whatever the case may be, start to change every 1,000 or 2,007 years, right? And everything is a cycle. Um, as much as you want trans people to be the back burner, in the back burner, just can't. Because trans people have always existed and still exist within nature, within plants, within animals, over 500 species of animals. And of course, with us, you want to say humans, Homo sapiens, homosexual. Never said, no. Yeah, hey, yeah, never part of society, right? So you cannot uh, get rid of that which is destined for greatness, and that which is great, and that which is the truth. Uh, Ones have tried so hard to, I guess, maybe get rid of so-called black people, right? And especially here in North America, and somehow, some way, we are still here. They tried their best to keep guns and ammunition out of the hands of black people here in the United States, and to this day, I think black people are probably maybe the most armed than we have ever been, right? Um, because I think it was since 2012, black, I think women made up, I think maybe 40% of new gun owners, right? Gun buyers for the first time, right? So, and you see more if you go on YouTube or GunTube, you see a lot of black people and even black women, especially, arming themselves and getting training, right? But they have done everything to try to keep us from obtaining firearms, right? From felonies, from this to that. I mean, the 4473 form, you got to put your race, try to do everything, right? But then it started affecting them, so now they had to change it. Ones are trying to do everything, even certain black people, trying to do everything they can to eliminate black LGBT from the memory and idea of certain countries, of certain history, right? Of America or Uganda, whatever. And no matter what they do, trans people still exist. Gay people, lesbians still exist within those countries. and ones was able to even have somewhat of a movement in Uganda before they even recently put this act. And I was like, oh, they're real brave. It was a trans man who was in one of the villages. I can't remember the name of the villages, but in Uganda, who was, basically doing the unthinkable. And I, was like, my full support and heart went out because I'm like, yeah, that's the worst place to be if you're LGBT in Africa and here probably even the world. And through all adversity, still exists, still there. With all the stuff that goes on in Mississippi, black people are still in Mississippi. With all the racism, they're probably the most racist state within the United States of America, right? There's a city, I think it's Jackson, Mississippi. I believe it's like what 80% or 70% black is real high. I think they have like black mayors or something like that. So no matter what they do, that which is the truth will always stand the test of time. They say, man, how you know it's the truth? Because it stands the test of time. No matter how much pressure you apply, it seems to always multiply. That's how you know it's the truth. That's how you know you're related. That's how you know the black LGBT and black cis hetero have a bond, a connection, because no matter what, seem to just multiply, just can't go away. And we ain't got to talk about, late at night, 3 o'clock, who's trying to link up with who. So, okay. All right, who's around here acting like they ain't LGBT? They're not, okay? Or they brother, they cousin, whatever like that. It is not. And yeah, I remember my wife had said something too, yeah, which is seen to be true. Anytime you have a black city that's predominantly black, there seemed to be a pretty decent black gay population there, right? Atlanta, I think they said Houston is like there's other places, other like yeah, it's known. Um, yeah, have a lot of black LGBT there. Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah, even that thing about cats too. But that's I'm gonna keep that. I ain't gonna get that. But it's things that ones know, little secret things that ones know. When you go to certain neighborhoods, you can see certain things and know that yeah, it's a lot of LGBT people there. All right, so you can't hide from the spirit. All right, believe that. So and yeah, and like I said before, man, they can't beat trans people down. They cannot destroy. They cannot eradicate trans people from the face because you cannot destroy something that you don't understand. You're looking over here when you should be looking over there. Man, it's so raw. Me and my wife, we could just move into a neighborhood, and based off the certain things we see, we can tell there's a lot of LGBT people there, or it's a good population, depending on how many certain things we see, and it has never failed us yet. Has never failed. These what 5 years has never failed us. So we could move somewhere, we could walk into a place, and we could tell in a certain neighborhood there was a lot of LGBT people there now. So for people to be like, well, black and the LGBT, they ain't got nothing to do with the black. Why every black neighborhood we go to, we see the same. We see the same thing. So yeah, just like I mentioned before about Monique and bisexual lesbians and everything. And I love me some goddamn bisexual women. I love. I say lesbians. When we say that we like lesbians, men like me, we like bisexual women. So yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, for those men who be having polygyny, I'm sorry, I'm probably saying too much, but hey, yeah, yeah, love them. Okay, yeah. So yeah, yeah. So kudos for her for that. But just man, just know that no matter what they do, and it's gonna be a lot of that too, man. Age of Aquarius is the what age of what? Knowing, right? A truth. Also the age of truth. Also the age of gender, communication. and it's the age of truth, right? So it's the age of gender, transgender. It's like everywhere, right? It's everywhere, everywhere. And we know why the brothers going to Thailand. Hey, anyway, I shouldn't have said that. Going to Thailand. Truth or knowledge, knowing, because Pisces represent belief, so in them, knowledge or truth, right? You should know the truth, and the truth should make you free. So a lot of people are speaking the truth, but their truth, but also speaking just the truth. You're gonna see a lot of that now, right? We're seeing a lot of that. A lot of people exposing this, exposing that, things that was hidden in the dark. Why is the Dalai Lama telling the young boy that, hey, suck his tongue? What's going on? So these things that in apocalyptic time, we're in the age of apocalypse too, the time of apocalypse or the revelations, and it means to what? Reveal. It means reveal. That's what apocalypse means, to reveal. So we're in the time of what? Aquarius. Revealing, knowing. You gonna know, once it's revealed, you know what it is. Because when something's not revealed, you might have to believe. But once it's okay, now I know. You know what I'm saying? Now I know. She done said it. Now I know. All right, well, now I know. Because you like, man, I believe maybe they was, but now, all right, well, it's from the, okay, well, they just said it. Well, I was believing that they were trying to do this thing with this currency and all that. Now they telling you what it is. With the currency, what they trying to, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like people, man, I thought they were trying to get rid of our guns. I didn't want to believe. I was kind of believing that maybe they was trying to take. Oh yeah, now you see, yeah. So ones have to fight against it because now you see it. And if ones don't see the truth today, they not you're not meant to see. You know, you're not meant to see. So yeah, just keep your head up, be on the lookout. Um, for things is gonna happen. For those who have family members, time to say get ready to say goodbye to certain ones of your family. Get right with the Most High. Practice spiritual fitness. Get right with the Most High, and live every day as it could be your last. That's the best advice I have for you. You know what I mean? To basically be you know just understanding that no matter how prepared you are with your guns, which I am, no matter how prepared you are with this, with that, well protected you may be, whatever, there's still a chance that you might have to make that call, or somebody might have to make that call on you. So just be ready for that, okay? Or someone in your family. So prepare for that. Get your suits ready. And if you don't like going to funerals, just don't go. I'm not big on funerals myself, but just get ready for that, okay? But also get ready for the kingdom. Get ready for good things. But in order to me to see a reflection of someone that that passed on, they passed on, and I see the reflection everywhere. I see them through my family. I see them through my wife. I see them through my life, but they had to pass on. So that spirit, you know, who we are on the inside, especially since we have eternal life through Yeshua, is always continuing. It's just different forms of that energy. It's still water. You got liquid, you got evaporated water, then you got, you know, solid form, ice. But it's still, that's why I call it H2O. For those who see Waterboy. I call it H2O, right? Still high quality. Hopefully it is high quality. Water, H2O. So still continue going on and on and on and on. So like I say, the truth gonna always continue. So the weak, the false, that dies off. But real, true people, warriors, soldiers gonna always exist through your writing, through other people, whatever. See what I'm saying? Whatever. Because you're more powerful. You out of this shell. You're not bound by this 3D lockdown limitations. Okay? So just be ready for that, man. Just be ready for a lot of things. With that, basically, we at the point now, whatever you want, especially if it's in the Most High Yah's will, imagine it, and there you go. As a man, a woman thinking, so is they, so is you. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you, Yeshua says. So, yeah, the Most High prepared a place for those of us who make it through this, and those of us who don't. And we'll all, those who meant to come together, will be together and unite under the banner, under the rainbow, in the nation of the Most High. Yashala, Israel. There's James Speed. Shabbat Shalom. Just wanted to give this message out, the word. For those who are able to receive it, able to receive it. There's esoteric knowledge. There's news, whatever it is. There's some message for those who are able to receive, who are able to Kabbalah, or the real Kabbalah, right? Kabbalah. Not the Kabbalah, but the Most High's Kabbalah to receive. So my Hebrew is kind of coming back a little bit. So all right, y'all, and Salaki, that's coming back to us. Yeah, for those who wasn't able to receive, I hope you was. So I want to say, was it Barakatah? Shabbat Shalom. James Speed, check me out on YouTube. I probably might get on Facebook and see if how long I can stay on there before they shut me down on that again. Might not. And I'm out. Shalom. Be good, y'all.